Okay, we're going to be going over simple interest today. Okay? And like I said, simple interest, the reason we introduce it to you is because it's very simple to calculate. But in the real world, if you're borrowing money from a bank or putting money into a loan, this is rarely used. Okay? So, you guys need to memorize these 5 terms. They're very important in order to do anything with interest in financial math. So, anytime we write capital P, it's going to stand for the principal, which is the amount of money you put in to either a bank account or you get loaned. They call that the principal amount. Okay? The lowercase r is going to stand for our interest rate. Alright, an interest rate is however amount extra you have to pay on top or however amount extra you're going to get for putting your money into a bank account. T is just strictly time, because the longer money's in these types of accounts, the more money you're either going to have to pay or make. Capital I stands for the total interest earned. Okay? And that'll make a little more sense when we get into an example. And same with capital A, that's the total amount in the bank account, or the total amount of the loan. So, let's create a question here. We'll make it very straightforward to start. Let's say that you have $1,000. Okay? Let's say that your friend, okay, and I'm going to say your friend because, again, simple interest isn't really used with banks. They don't use these types of loans. Your friend is going to lend you simple interest if you let him borrow this money. Okay? And you are going to charge your friend, let's say, 2% every month. The time frame also becomes very important when we talk about financial math. Okay? You're going to learn about things that are monthly, weekly, annually, and you're going to have to know all of those definitions. We'll get into those also later. But we're going to go real straightforward with just every month. Your friend, you're going to charge him 2% on the $1,000. And we're going to go and say that you do it for a year. Okay? So we want to figure out how much you're going to calculate at the end of the year. So amount at end of year. I know this is broken English, but this is what we're going to figure out. So what I want us to do is I want us to actually figure out what our P, R, T, all of that equals. So what's my principal, Zala?
1,000.
What's the principal? So how much is that here? 1,000. Great. So our principal is the $1,000 here. Okay, so we're going to highlight that in our blue. This is our principal amount. That's what our P is going to be equal to. What is our interest rate?
2%.
What? 2%?
Every month.
Every month. Anyone know how they describe that? 2%? Come on. Yeah, you guys are so smart. So, 2% monthly. That's what they'll call it. 2% monthly. Okay? Every month or monthly. So that's going to be our R. Time. What is time?
1 year.
1 year. But we're compounding it every month. So how many periods pass? That's what's very important with time. 12 periods pass. That's what becomes very important. Time frames are all relative. If we were compounding the interest every year, only 1 period would pass. But because we're doing it every month, whoops, thank you, it's going to be 12, okay? So in this case, our T is going to be 12 periods, okay? Or in other words, 12 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to, T, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're first going to figure out the total interest you're going to earn. And then we're going to figure out how much is in the account, and you're going to discover that's very simple to do. But we're going to use our simple interest formula. I, which is the total amount of interest, is equal to P, R, T. If these letters are beside each other, what's the operation between them? Multiplication. Very simple. So what was our principal?
1,000.
Great. So we had $1,000. The interest rate.
Times 0.02.
That's right. Because it's a percentage, we have to put it into a decimal form. So 2% 0.02. Okay? 0.02. And how many times does this reoccur? 12 times. Okay? So, anyone know what this is going to equal in the end? $240? That's right. Good. $240. So this is the interest earned. Okay? So that's how much interest they earn. So is that all you get back from your friend? You loan them $1,000, he gives you $240 back or even?
No.
No, how does it work?
He gives you this on top of it?
He gives you this on top of the 1,000. In other words, that was our total amount, our A. Remember, A was equal to the principal plus the interest rate. Yes, Ace. Yes, you're going to add them together exactly. So we're going to take 1,000. We're going to add our 240 to it. So your friend at the end of the year owes you $1,240. That is the total amount, our A. Okay?
That's it?
Okay, so since we understand simple interest, we're going to do something that's a little more complicated. We're going to try to solve for something else here. Your friend pays you back $5,000 after 5 years. Okay? You were charging him 3% weekly. You are a shark. And what was your original principal? So how much did your friend originally borrow from you? That's what we need to figure out. Well, we know our two formulas. The total interest earned, I, is equal to PRT. And we also know another formula, which is total amount is equal to our principal plus our interest rate. Well, the problem here is we don't know what P is. P is unknown, and it's actually in both of these formulas. So this is the hardest type of question you'll get with this. We're going to have to backtrack a little. I'm going to substitute for I in this equation. We know what I is equal to. What is I equal to, anyone?
5 grand.
Oh, it's not equal to $5,000. That's the total amount they give you.
3% weekly.
Oh, no, that's our interest rate, which is R. Okay, so R is 3%. T is what? T is 5 years. But how many weeks are in a year? 52. So if there's 52 weeks, by 5, how many periods occurred?
275.
Is that what? No, I don't think it's 275. 52 times 5. Yeah, 260. Thank you, Trice. 260 periods have occurred. Okay? Now, that's still not enough information for us. We know the total amount A is also $5,000. So, if our total amount A is 5,000, let's rewrite this. 5,000 is equal to P plus. Now, this is the important part, guys. What we're going to do here is we're going to replace our I with our PRT. Okay? The reason we're going to do that is because we're going to be able to do some factoring. So, instead of writing in I, PRT. And what variable is in both of those terms? P. So I can common factor, if you guys remember, we can common factor P out. Okay? So we're going to take that P out as a common factor. So we're going to be left with 5,000 is equal to P times 1. P divided by P would be 1 plus RT. Well, we actually have the values of R and T. So we're going to plug those in. 5,000 is equal to the principal, 1 plus our interest rate, we said was 3%, which is 0.03 as a decimal. And our time frame was 52 weeks over 5 years, which is 260 periods. Okay? So we need to calculate these brackets here. Our P is going to be equal to 1 plus 0.03 times 260. Anyone got it for us?
So we do 1.13 times 260.
Yeah, so we move those decimal over 2. Let's do it over here. 260 by 3. 0, 8, carry to 1, 6, 7.
293.8.
I think it's 7.8, is that right? Let's get a calculator. See how great we are here. 260 times 0.03. Yeah, it is 7.8. So, we have 1 plus 7.8. Okay, that's what 0.03 times 260 was. What's 1 plus that? 8.8. So, principal times 8.8 is equal to 5,000. How do I isolate for P? Divide. Divide both sides by 8.8. So we already got our 5,000. Divide 8.8. 568. Great. So, $568. So your friend apparently borrowed about $568 from you, and after 5 years he owed you $5,000. You're really rough on your friend. So, what we just discovered there, oh, sorry, that formula's wrong. That should be a P. What I want you guys to recognize is that this formula here, A is equal to P times 1 plus RT, is the exact same formula as this here. The only difference is that we substituted in for I. We substituted that PRT. Remember, I was equal to PRT. So in order to solve that, we really still use those two formulas. We just did a little substitution with them. Okay? Otherwise, it is the exact same formula.